Kelman, the infamous CEO of Redfin.com, was back on CNBC on June 11th to provide insights on the already bubbly housing market. After a couple of reports indicated a slowdown in housing market trends, Glenn was back on TV to answer the all-important question. Is this finally the relief homebuyers were looking for? He opened up the interview with this.
Joining us now to talk about this and the broader housing market is Redfin CEO Glenn Kelman. Glenn, thanks so much for being here with us today. So why do you think the demand for second homes is falling? I mean, there's still lovely homes out there to be had. Are the prices just pushed higher because so many people were chasing them? Is it going back to work? What's going on here?
Some of it is prices have been through the roof, and some of it is that people have just gotten back to their regular lives. So people have gotten vaccinated, they're going out to eat, they're going shopping, they're doing everything that we haven't been able to do for a year. So for a couple of weeks, housing has been hot instead of blazing hot. And it's actually probably good for the market. We've been running too hot for too long.
And once again, I have to point out some things that have become a repeating theme in regards to interviews related to the current housing market. Sure, there are a wide array of potential sources for this crazy environment we are all living in. There is a lack of inventory, which of course, due to basic high school economics, is going to shift the price upwards. And we also have record low interest rates with an aging millennial population that is finally stepping into the market, driving up demand and sparking bidding wars. But the one word everyone refuses to say to explain all this is inflation. Could it be that maybe if you take a look around, housing is just one of dozens of sectors that is exploding in price, and if you compare it to other pricing shifts, it's actually not as bad as it looks, yet. I know that's a rather unpopular opinion, as most of those looking to buy a house are quick to jump into the comment section to tell me that this is one giant bubble that's going to explode at any moment. And while they're technically correct, it's my opinion that this particular bubble has a long way to go before it explodes. Hear me out. If we take a look at, let's say, Europe, the US housing market, even at current levels, looks like a Dollar General. Take for an example Germany, one of Europe's most developed and prosperous nations. In Germany, the average single-family home is around $4,100 per square foot. That is 34 times more expensive than the US. Now, I know Germany and the United States differ in many ways that push these numbers apart, but at the end of the day, Germany's prices show you what is possible in a modern developed country. I'm not suggesting we ever get to 4,000 a square foot, but even if we just doubled our current average, the social consequences here in the United States would be severe. The American dream is sort of built around this idea that one day everyone would own, not rent, but own their very own house, and with this recent price surge, that already fading dream is now even more distant and things are not looking good. By Redfin's own estimates, the median sale price is up over 22% year over year. In some markets, like for an example Scottsdale, Arizona, that median price is up 48% year over year. Looking at the supply side, it shows a giant problem that is plaguing the economic equation. According to their very own report, there are currently 681,000 homes for sale in this country. This is down heavily from about 1.3 million in June of 2019. Will an added supply change the pricing dynamics? Absolutely. But given the pace at which the supply is changing, going back to old levels is going to take years. People are already seeing the writing on the wall. Why sell your home when it's appreciating hundreds of thousands of dollars? If anything, people are looking to buy second homes if they can afford to do so. With the savings rates at an all-time low and the stock market at all-time highs, there's not many places you can park your money safely and avoid the incoming inflation tax. Take a listen to Glenn continue to basically say housing is now a millionaire's market.
I was just thinking that. I mean, it's been a really, really strong market for some time, not just for second homes, but for first homes. So if you're just talking about housing in general, I know the supply remains constrained, but what are you seeing in the market for first homes? Is it hot or blazing hot, or is it cooling off?
Well, it's still pretty hot. Sometimes you'll hear an agent say, well, we only got 5 or 10 offers on this property instead of 15 or 20. So I still think we'll be supply constrained. There are more buyers than sellers. We need the sellers to come into the market. So if demand comes down one step, that would be welcome relief. We really saw Memorial Day weekend slow down, but then it came back over the past few days. So I still think you're going to have high interest in housing just because people are able to work from wherever they want. There's going to be a migration from high tax states to lower cost parts of America. That's a long-term trend.
On top of all these pressures we've all been reading about, there's a recent new headline that is resulting in people pointing their fingers at corporations, blaming them for the crazy market. News articles like this point out that firms such as BlackRock are, quote, killing the dream of owning a home. There are now various journalists writing about these companies who are buying up entire residential neighborhoods for 20 to 30% over market prices. And while yes, this practice of institutional investors owning residential single-family homes is troubling and does indeed cause pricing to go up, in the grand scheme of things, these practices are not the main cause behind this frantic market. If you look at various studies and stats, institutional investors make up a tiny portion of the overall market, and you can tell this is the case by looking at various stats that showcase the real issue. Remember how I said that people who can afford a second home are buying not only to profit, but to place their money in anything else but a savings account? Well, that theory is supported by the fact that buyer demand for second homes is more than double pre-pandemic levels. Redfin's chief economist Daryl Fairweather was quoted saying, "The combination of wealthy becoming wealthier, remote work turning into the new normal, and low mortgage rates is creating an ideal environment for affluent Americans to buy vacation homes. As long as the economy continues to grow, I don't foresee demand for second homes slowing down anytime soon." In my opinion, this is just rich people profiting off inflation concerns. So if you can't buy a house, how can you protect yourself against the failing US dollar? If you're worried about this considering the market I just described, I would hope that you at least diversify a small portion of your savings into Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. One of the best ways to do that, in my opinion, is to use BlockFi, where you can earn interest on top of storing, trading, and diversifying your crypto portfolio. I currently keep about $5,000 worth of stablecoins, Bitcoins, and Litecoin using their service, and in just under 1 month, I have earned over $30 in interest. And the good news is that if you choose to use my link below, you will get up to a $250 crypto bonus with a deposit of $100 or more. This is a great way to earn some yield on your precious cash and crypto holdings. And no, it's not a savings account, but a totally different financial product that could be part of the answer to protecting your cash against rising inflation levels. Thank you guys for watching, and please make sure you hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed.